So about Kaido and Big Mom. As of chapter 1049 of One Piece, the Wano arc is pretty much over. A handful of chapters ago, Big Mom was already dealt with by Law and Kid, with their new awakened abilities and team comboing, and Luffy's fight with Kaido officially ended, with their final clash. We had a whole flashback for Kaido all the way back to when he was a kid and everything, so it's pretty much guaranteed that the fight is over at this point. I mean, a lot was skipped over in the flashback. We just skipped around a lot up to the point that Kaido met King, probably because there's just certain stuff that we can't know about yet. Sort of the same thing with Oden's flashback. It indirectly told us stuff about Whitebeard and Roger, and both of their crews, and their relationships and things he did while he was on their ships. Oda had to hold back on showing us the flashback, since it was going to end up revealing a lot of stuff about the story. So we learned a few new things about Kaido, like where he came from and how he became a pirate, but we're still missing the bigger picture that happens in his backstory. That pretty much concluded the whole Big Mom and Kaido situation though. Probably the longest saga in the series by a long shot, from Punk Hazard to Wano. I would say Whole Cake would be included in the saga, but it's more of a side quest to the main quest. Still, even if you didn't want to include Whole Cake, that's still 4 entire arcs, with 2 of them being the first and second longest arcs in the story. We spent a lot of time with Kaido and Big Mom being the end goals for the Straw Hats, because ever since Marineford, Yonkos were solidified as a peak of pirating. With the whole plan that Law came up with, Kaido and then later down the line Big Mom were set up to be the people they were trying to overtake. But now that both of them are officially beaten, they don't serve that purpose in the story anymore. They aren't seen as the very strongest, and probably not as Yonkos either soon, once word breaks out that they lost the war. So I wanted to talk about what exactly Oda's gonna do with the both of them after Wano, because their initial purpose as characters is already served, and with how influential they are in the story, I don't think it would be possible to have them just really phase out the story. It would be pretty bad writing honestly if that did happen, to have retired great powers just be forgotten and never mentioned again, because they aren't dying at the end of Wano. I think it would be more logical to have the both of them die, to be honest. Kaido turned a whole country into a sweatshop and kept it isolated so people couldn't come in or out, with Big Mom teaming up with him and supporting him with it by the time the war starts. If there's any reason to warrant somebody dying, I think you can make a convincing argument for Kaido and Big Mom, but with how Oda really doesn't kill anyone in the story, I don't really see it happening. Even with Big Mom ending up in that huge crater after her fight with Law and Kid, she definitely did not die from that. She got badly injured, but it's not something she can make a full recovery from. And then Kaido just got finished off by Luffy with a punch, nothing that would threaten his life. He got punched out of the sky, so he might have landed in the water, but they're already right on top of mainland Wano pretty much. If he did fall in any water, it's probably really shallow and near the shore. The only way I could see either of them dying with the way Oda kills off characters is if it's in a way that the Straw Hats are not directly involved. I forgot to specify that part. Oda doesn't like having the Straw Hats kill people. I mean, in general, he doesn't like killing off characters. But if it's with the Straw Hats, it's basically guaranteed that they will live. In the new chapter, I kinda forgot about it, since the final clash was the main part of the chapter, but then Jiro just straight up kills Orochi in that chapter too. I can see why Orochi gets killed though, and not Kaido or Big Mom. The first being that he betrayed the country, so it makes sense that they're the one to kill him, but also the fact that Orochi won't serve any purpose outside of Wano. He won't come back as his future villain or anything that makes a comeback. Kaido on the other hand probably has just as much people that want to kill him, but they just can't. Like, it's just physically impossible for them to kill him, even if Kaido lets them try it for free. I think both Kaido and Big Mom will just end up leaving Wano and try and regroup themselves. Not just by themselves though. It would be kind of repetitive to have them come back as the main threats again, when they already had an entire saga to themselves. What I think is gonna end up happening is that they're gonna return back with Rocks, or some sort of powerhouse pirate crew. Most likely Rocks though. And that would be when we get the rest of Kaido's flashback, the gaps that were left out on purpose. So I'm assuming Kaido's gonna come back again, and then we'll go back to it when it's at a more relevant time, because they definitely aren't getting locked up or anything. This isn't like Dressrosa and Doflamingo. Doflamingo was already out of commission from the fight with Luffy, and they still took a lot to really secure him and impel down. That's nowhere near the scale or level with Kaido and Big Mom. They already know Kaido and Big Mom could escape at literally any time they wanted to, because it was already confirmed that using Sea Prism Stone is pretty useless when we were at the prison with Big Mom, so they have no way of suppressing their power and impel down, and they aren't gonna get held back by some NPC prison guards. The Marines can't kill them either. That was already confirmed by Kaido in his teens. Emphasis just on the teens part, before he even got his powers, and learned how to really use Haki and all that. If they were smart, the Marines would just have 1 or 2 admirals just try and kill the Yonko on the spot. The general consensus is that admirals are a tier below Yonko, but even one of them should be enough to kill a Yonko that's already down from a previous fight. Kaido and Big Mom likely won't get involved with the Marines though either way. The incentive for Kaido letting the Marines lock him up was to eat, since he was always starving. Kaido and Big Mom get nothing at all right now from letting the Marines capture them, so it's more than likely not gonna happen. Even when they just lost a battle with the samurai, the Rock's powerhouse comeback is basically what I'm betting on happening. I think that is what Oda is planning for Kaido and Big Mom's character in the future. That's more or less what I think will happen to Kaido and Big Mom after Wano though. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe for future content. Peace.